I genuinely think something is off about the way we're living right now. Not in an obvious way. Everything still looks normal on the surface. People go to school, get jobs, try to build a life. But underneath that, something doesn't add up. Because we've all been told the same story. Work hard, get a degree, be consistent, and eventually things will fall into place. And that idea made sense in a completely different version of the world. A version where stability was more predictable, where effort had a clearer return. But that's not the environment we're in anymore. Now, you can follow that exact same path and still feel stuck, still feel behind, still feel like you're doing everything right and getting nowhere. And instead of questioning the system, most people end up questioning themselves. Like maybe they're not working hard enough. Maybe they're not disciplined enough. Maybe they're just not good enough. But that assumption only works if the system itself still functions the way it used to. And it doesn't. The rules changed. Quietly. Without anyone really acknowledging it. Opportunity didn't disappear. It just became distorted. Because now, success is everywhere. You see it constantly. On your phone, on your feed. People your age making money, building brands, figuring it out. But what you're actually seeing is a filtered version of reality. Highlights without context. Outcomes without the conditions behind them. So your brain starts to believe this is normal. This is what you should be doing too. And if you're not, you're falling behind. Even if the comparison itself doesn't make sense. And that creates a kind of pressure that didn't exist before. Not just to succeed, but to succeed in a way that is visible, consistent, impressive, all the time. At the same time, the cost of just existing has gone up. Housing, food, basic living, everything requires more, while giving less in return. So now you have a generation trying to build a future in an environment where stability is harder to reach and expectations are higher than ever. And instead of addressing that gap, we normalize it. Overworking becomes discipline. Burnout becomes ambition. Feeling lost becomes part of the process. And people just accept it because everyone else seems to be going through the same thing. And when it gets overwhelming, there's always something there to distract you. Social media, content, endless scrolling. Not by accident, but by design. It keeps you engaged, but it also fragments your attention, shortens your focus, makes it harder to think clearly or sit with discomfort. So instead of processing anything, you just move on to the next thing. And when that isn't enough, people look for stronger forms of escape. Alcohol, drugs, porn, anything that can temporarily fill the gap. But those don't solve the problem. They just make it easier to ignore. And over time, that becomes a cycle. Work, stress, distraction, repeat. All while the world itself feels increasingly unstable. Economically, socially, globally. So it's not surprising that people feel lost. It's not surprising that people feel behind. Because they're trying to navigate a system that no longer matches the expectations they were given. So no, this isn't just in your head. And it's not just a lack of effort. It's a mismatch between what we were told life would be and what it actually is. And until that gap is acknowledged, people will keep blaming themselves for a problem that was never entirely theirs to begin with. It's not that people don't want to succeed. It's that they were given a map for a version of the world that doesn't exist anymore. And once you see that, you start to understand why so many people feel the way they do.